yourself. Don't put this on the tape now. To Reader and the goodies too.
Yeah, and just don't put this on tape, Mr. Tessio said, but help yourself to the goodies.
Right.
So it's on tape, and I will. I've already been to one celebration this afternoon down at the Riverwalk, and we're back again. Our little corner comes into one of my favorite places, Evergreen Valley Nursing Home with Warren Lefty Tessier. How are you again?
I'm great, Gordy. How are you?
Still celebrating the last interview we did during the business
Expo.
Expo up the field house a few months ago. That was great.
That was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
I had a little feedback too.
I've gotten some very positive feedback, so much so, as you know, I'd like to. I haven't seen the video yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
Probably heard from all the people that scored 66 points.
Yeah. Or wish they did.
Or wish they did, and not very many of those.
Right.
What a great day you picked for a celebration. The weather
beautiful.
Outside on this 12th day of August is in the 80s. We haven't seen that in a couple of weeks.
Oh, it's very nice. We couldn't have asked for it. And the humidity's down, so it's just a perfect day to honor Sister.
It's great. We're at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home, which is located on South Catherine Street in Plattsburgh. For those viewers who might be watching us from the other four corners of the three-county region in the North Country. And tell us exactly why we're here today. I was so delighted when you called me the other day.
I sure will, Gordy. A couple of months ago, the owner of this facility, Bill Hassett, and I were talking with some other advisory board people for the nursing home. Ron Stafford and Sister Martell is one, and we came up with the idea that Sister's retiring, and wouldn't it be nice to have a nice community reception for her? And we agreed that we would host it here at Evergreen. So we have invited the city and the county fathers. We've invited members of the library board. We've invited some of her fellow professors from Clinton community. We've tried to get in as many students as we can that might know her. We've invited some of our own staff because they do know her, and trying to make it one big happy bon voyage for Sister Martell.
Sister Teresa Martell, synonymous with teaching people how to do the secretarial job right. One of the first tasks I ever had was doing commercials for the OLVA Secretarial School. It was a sad day when the high school closed over there, as you well know.
Yes, it was.
Having been your alma mater, right?
It was. I was a 1955 graduate of Our Lady of Victory, and it was a sad day when they closed the doors to high school pursuits, but with Sister coming along and starting the education or the secretarial program, which actually was there prior to Sister coming, but then making that the ultimate business. That was just wonderful. Great use of the school, and it's gone on very well.
We got a fresh battery in, and we're rolling again. Yeah, this fine lady has touched so many lives. Before I came over here today, I looked around the probation department where I'm a crime victims advocate, and I started counting heads of the number of ladies who worked there who were offspring of this great program right across the road from where we're standing today.
I'm not surprised. I think in our own operation here, we probably have had 6 or 8 people, at least since I've been here, which is only 6 years now, that have come from the secretarial school. And you know, we've relied heavily on those graduates to do the kinds of things that we need to have them do here.
You know, sometimes it takes a little hometown television program like this to point out some of the great resources we have in the North Country. Many of our viewers may not be aware, but Our Lady of Victory Secretarial School across the street from Evergreen Valley Nursing Home in Plattsburgh is one of the premier schools of its kind in the nation. It has clout, it has class, to the point where people going to that school were very often promised jobs before they were even sure they were going to graduate.
It's a great commendation for Sister and for the sisters that supported the program at Our Lady of Victory.
She came here, she told me, in 1958. I didn't think anybody came here before I did, but I was here in 1955, right after high school, and after you graduated, I came to work on the air base, and then came back to spend one career and now part of another in the North Country. And you spent a lot of time around here too. Where were you born?
I was born in Plattsburgh. I'm a native of Plattsburgh. I lived here through my first 18 or 19 years, almost through college. And then I went away and played professional baseball, and the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. What a modest guy. Well, it's great to be here today. You have a wonderful institution. I haven't been here since we did a series of programs on the nursing homes in this area way back when in the radio. And this is such a neat place. I mean, you do a lot of things right up here.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear you say you did a series on nursing homes whenever. I think it'd be a great idea to do it again. If I could get a plug-in for nursing homes, I am sure the area nursing home people would be just delighted to have their facilities on Hometown and to talk a little bit about what goes on in nursing homes and quality of care and those issues. So
yeah, because
keep us in mind.
In my business as a victims advocate, unfortunately, many of the victims of elder abuse are senior citizens who have terrible problems in their own home or with relatives who are caregivers, and they're looking for a secure place. And
yes, they are.
I know where to send them.
Yes, well, good, and we know how to take care of them. So make a good combination.
Tell me a little bit about this place in general.
Well, Evergreen is it's an 89-bed skilled nursing facility. We've been in existence since 1965 when the Sisters of Charity of St. Louis first built it, and it was under the guidance of Sister Angela and Sister Edmund, Sister Edmund's sitting right over there. They were the founders of the nursing home, and Mr. Bill Hassett, who's hosting this affair this evening, purchased the facility back in 1993.
It's time to meet the boss.
Yes, good idea.
Get over here. You can't escape.
No.
Yeah.
No, but Calvin, what I wanted you to do was be sure to get candid shots of Sister and people coming up to talk to her and stuff like that.
We plan to do that. Calvin is a pretty sneaky guy. He knows how to do that.
Pardon me, he's Calvin.
Bill, you're from Buffalo, but now you live on the island?
That's right,
Where?
Yeah. In Oyster Bay, North Shore, Long Island.
Well, you might be interested in knowing that I spent a little while in Oyster Bay on Long Island and was in the first graduating class at Stony Brook in 1961. And I lived at Oyster Bay.
Yeah.
And rode crew for 4 years in college right there on Long Island Sound, right there at Oyster
Well,
Bay.
you might be interested in knowing now that a year ago they finally put up a facility to house the shells. It's on what's called Beekman Beach, right in Oyster
I know
Bay.
exactly where it is.
And I want to tell you, I drive by there all the time, and the water is still. I rode when I lived in Buffalo when I was a kid. I rode too.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I watch it.
He
now
maintained
and
his
remember.
youthful figure,
Yeah.
and look what happened to
Yeah,
mine.
but I remember. Anyway, we're thrilled to be doing this today, and the star of the show though is Sister Teresa. So I hope you'll get a lot of questions.
She's an amazing lady, and there isn't anyone in this area within 100 miles of the sound of our voice and who's looking at these pictures who doesn't know this fine woman who came here, she told me, in 1958 and has touched untold thousands of lives.
Yeah.
The young people who've graduated from her school, which has a lot of clout in the world of secretarial schools around the nation.
Oh, that, but she also taught at the community college. She also taught at the high school. In fact, when Warren Tessier came back, we were able to inveigle Warren to come back to Plattsburgh to run what is now Evergreen Valley.
That was a coup all by itself.
It sure was. It was a great coup because he's a wonderful man, a wonderful administrator, and very beloved and very respected. But Sister Teresa said to me at the time, "Oh," she said, "I remember Lefter Tessier. I can see him right now running up and down that basketball court." Well, I said, "Sister, he looks a little different now." But God bless her. I've never met anyone like her.
Lefty's a good guy, and he and I share a lot of memories because we both graduated from high school at the same time. And that's amazing that you live in Oyster Bay, and I
and you went to
spent
college nearby.
4 years of my career at planting fields right outside of Oyster Bay.
Sure.
I haven't been back in many years. It changes every now and again, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it fundamentally it still looks the same. So look, I know.
Nice to meet you, William. We'll
Thank
do it
you
again
very,
before
very
we're
much
finished today.
Good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Some pretty music in the background with my friend George Schnaub right over there playing all of our favorite hits. Sister, the lady of the hour.
Oh,
How does it feel?
oh, it feels great.
To have so many friends and so many people love you,
and an opportunity to say goodbye to everyone.
but not really goodbye.
Probably not. I always have hope to return now and then.
Now, where are you heading for anywhere?
I'm heading for Quebec City for a certain period of time, and then from there I will go on to France.
Oh,
And,
no. Can I go?
Well, you might want to carry my luggage.
Oh, wow. And to France for how long?
A few months, yes, a couple of months.
Isn't that wonderful? How many times have you been there before?
Oh, I've been once.
Just once?
But I want to go to a different part of France. You cannot possibly visit the whole country. So this time will be a different, yes. But I have been to Europe 4 times, mostly in Italy and a few other countries, England and so on.
Let's go back. Let's go back a few years. Let me find out a little bit about you. Where were you born?
I was born in Quebec City. Yes.
And how did you end up down here? Tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Well, I joined my childhood was great. I graduated very early in age, and then I worked for the government for 2 years. I joined the order, Sisters of Charity of St. Louis, and which is a teaching order, and I have been teaching for 53 years. No
Come
break,
on,
no
not
break.
53 years.
Yes,
It's time to relax.
that's what I'm doing.
You've taught at Clinton Community College, I know, and that's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I came to Plattsburgh in 1958, and I started the business school, or the secretarial school, and I closed it in 1993. And from then, hoping to retire, but the personnel of Clinton Community College invited me to join the faculty, so I loved to teach, and I had 6 good years at Clinton Community College.
But you know that your feeling of accomplishment at that secretarial school across the street has got to be immense. You've got to be so happy with what you accomplished over there, because your reputation is far and wide.
And no one ever achieves alone. I think that we had high standards, and for me, the reward is that to have a number of graduates working in the workplace, and sharing their talents and so on for the community.
Almost impossible to go anywhere in this community without finding 1 or 2 or 3 people that haven't been under your tutelage.
Wherever I go, I better be good, because I know they are there. I find them everywhere.
They all have wonderful stories about that place. Because this little lady was a taskmaster.
Yes.
But that's where that reputation comes from. And so many of the women, many of them now mature women whom I've talked to, they give you all the credit. And they say, I was offered a job before I even graduated.
Yes, that's correct. That's right. Well, I guess it's like if you're in the teaching profession, they don't appreciate you very at the time, so perhaps they worked hard, but then the reward was there. They found a job, and then they were, it was very gratifying.
How many students over the year, do you have any idea?
Altogether, it's about 3,500. Yes.
Can you believe
least,
that?
Yes.
At least 3,500.
Yes, right.
Isn't that great? And you enjoyed every day of your work over there and
yes.
everything else you've done.
Yes.
That
I forget
perennial
my
smile
problems.
you do. When you can help young
Yeah.
people and work with other people, you do tend to
Very.
forget your own personal problems.
Yes.
Or at least they're diminished.
Yes.
So teaching at Clinton was also a lot of fun. I didn't realize you
was.
taught there for 6 years.
Yes. Yes. I was adjunct faculty, but still semi-retired, if you want to put it this way. But I enjoyed it very, very much. Very much. A great faculty.
Did you realize you'd when you came here in 1958 that you'd still be around in 1999?
Well, I just keep going. I never even thought of anything. I'm still ready for a change right now.
Whatever happens, that's the way I feel. As long as the good Lord gives us the
Yes.
energy.
Yes, I mean, there is life beyond,
Yes, there
number.
is. I know exactly what you mean. Now tell us what your connection is with Evergreen Valley Nursing Home.
I'm on the advisory board of Evergreen. So I've been member of a number of organizations, in fact 13 right now, so I had to...
How many?
13.
Oh, listen to this.
I'm also doing prison ministry in Dannemora.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, twice a week.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's right. It's wonderful.
So you got to write all these letters of resignation? Tell all these people I'm out of here?
Well, yes, I guess.
Well, you're certainly beloved. Look at all these wonderful people who are your friends who've shown up here today, including the Clinton County Legislature
I
and
know.
ex-mayors, and it's just wonderful. This is a nice facility. I've always enjoyed coming in here and meeting the people, and Warren Lefty Tessier
Yes.
is an old friend of mine and many people in the North Country, and I heard when you found out he was coming back, you said, I remember him playing basketball.
That's right.
Isn't that amazing?
A great athlete.
He was. And
Yes, right.
He's a fine human being. We're glad to have him back in the
Yes.
community. So when are you actually leaving? It's going to take at least another 3 years to say goodbye.
No, I'm leaving on the 23rd of August.
Are you? Oh, you are a short timer.
Yes.
And we won't see you again for maybe
A couple years.
couple of years. All right. I want to thank you while we have this opportunity and publicly, and this is heartfelt, because I know how many lives you've touched, and I want to thank you for all of those people, for all you've done to make Plattsburgh a better place to live.
Well, thank you very much.
Sister, good fortune to you in anything you do.
Thank you.
Don't forget to send us a postcard.
Right. Certainly, I will.
See you later. Sister Teresa Martell, the party today is for her. We got a veritable who's who in the North Country here today at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home to honor a lady we all love, Sister Teresa Martell, upon her retirement. My friend Dick Ward is here. How are you, Richard?
Good, good.
That's great. You've been connected with the library system around here for a long time, right?
Very long time. Seems 30-some years between. I started out with as reference and interlibrary loan with the three-county library system, and then was director of Plattsburgh Public Library for a couple of years. And I've been working as a volunteer in library stuff since I retired.
You told me you were doing some stuff down there today, right?
That's right. That's right.
What were you doing, research or what?
No, we had a consultant in from Vermont looking at the local history collection to see what we can do to improve it, maybe.
There are so many historical things in that library and special collections and in people's attics and cellars. It gets me all excited.
All over the
Get it all
country.
together. We could have a mammoth historical
That's
party,
right.
couldn't we?
That's right.
Now, tell us a little bit about your connection with Sister Teresa Martell.
Well, she served on the board of the Plattsburgh Public Library. She was on the board.
We're back with a new battery. Yeah, she served.
She served on. She was already serving on the board of Plattsburgh Public Library when I took over in September 1984, and at that time was secretary of the board. And she's continued to serve on the board until about a month or two ago, when she resigned because of all her moving. She hasn't been. She gave up the secretary part some years before. I don't know as I could remember exactly when, but she's given. It's just another one of the many areas in the community that she's given service to over the many years that she's been here.
As our viewers are learning, I'm sure today, there aren't very many segments of the community that she hasn't had a hand in. It's amazing, isn't it?
It sure is. It sure is. She's been an important person in this community for a long time and is going to be missed very much.
It's nice to come together to honor a person when they're still in good health, and heading off into some travels up into Canada and then over into France, and wow.
That's right. That's right.
Amazing?
It's amazing.
Have you ever been to Europe, Dick?
No, I haven't. I'd like to
I told
someday.
her I'd carry your suitcase. I wasn't sure if she agreed or not. Thanks for talking with us, Richard.
You're welcome.
Best of luck in everything you do. All right, I found a little corner and a wonderful lady to speak to. Sister Edmund, how are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. Isn't she such a great lady, Sister Teresa Martell?
Yes, she certainly is.
Tell me a little bit about your connection with her and what you've been doing all your lifetime.
All my lifetime, I've been in this place here
Have
for
you
15
really?
years.
How many?
15 years in this place.
No kidding.
Yes, with Sister Angela Teresa, who is a patient right here now. She was the administrator, and I was the assistant administrator and personnel director.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's terrific. Did you have any connection with the secretarial school at Sister Teresa Martell?
No, I didn't.
No.
No.
But
No.
you knew her and with her connection
Oh,
over
yes,
here.
yes. She's a great friend of mine.
Is she?
Yes.
She's such a neat person. Everybody loves her so much, and that's why it pleases me to have all these people together just to wish her a bon voyage, because she's going to Europe and back to France. And
Yeah.
isn't that terrific?
Yes, it is.
Let us talk a little bit about you. Where were you born?
I was born in Canada, a little place near Maine, right on the border of Maine,
What's the name of it?
Saint Theophile, Theophile.
Oh, and Sister Teresa Martell was born in Quebec City, I think she said.
She was born in ancient Lorette,
Oh, really? Okay.
near Quebec.
Okay. I'm learning a lot about people. So tell me a little bit about your childhood up there by the Maine border. What was life like when you were a little girl?
Oh, well, it was, it was a poor place. All the men used to go and work in the States as
they really?
lumberjacks.
Oh, in the woods, huh?
Yes, that's right.
Did you have a big family?
We were 6, and they're all dead, except myself.
Well, we're delighted you're here today. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
A lot of minutes this afternoon, but for a good reason, because we're with someone and honoring someone who's given us minutes, hours, and years and decades of love and instruction and every good quality you could think of in the North Country. We were kidding earlier today about probably thousands of people who have been students of Sisters, whether it's been at OLV in the high school or in the secretarial school or the community college, or people whose lives have been affected by her, sometimes through the library, in whatever ways. And I've got to tell you personally, when I met Sister, it was because I had been introduced to the then Sacred Heart Nursing Home, which had enjoyed a fine reputation but was having, as we all know, and as the sisters who are here know, difficulties in replacing its staff of sisters from the outside community because of the strange aspects of the New York State reimbursement law. So, without going into that, the sisters had decided they wanted somebody else to be the owner who would not be burdened by those problems. And Sister Bernadette, or Sister Teresa, in that instance, represented the community, and I want to tell you, she represented them very, very well. She was a very tough and skillful bargainer. No surprise to anybody here. She did it with a smile. And when all was said and done, I knew that I had met a terrific adversary, but I had made a lifetime friend. Because when you deal with Sister Teresa, you learn and you do, and many's the time, Sister, we talked on the phone, or I came up here and met with you, and you'll remember we came to a phase finally where we had to wait for the state to approve, and then we were both praying from the same side of the table. So my life has been made a lot richer because of Sister. And when I heard that she was going to be spending too much time away from us for a while, and we made her promise to come back, we felt, Warren and I, because Warren has been a great blessing in my life as well, Warren Tessier, that it would be a fitting thing here, the place where we met and about which we met, to invite the community to come and pay their respects to Sister here. So I give you thanks and admiration and affection individually. We have, and I rarely would say this, because the mayor is expected to be here, but there's a time in a gathering when you know it's the right time to do this. And so we're going to go ahead with this, and if Mayor Rabideau shows while we're talking, I hope he'll just come running up, and if not, if it's a bit later, we'll ask him then to say something. But knowing that Don Garrett is here, knowing that Ann O'Donnell is here, each representing the institutions, in Don's case, the widest possible institution, in Ann's, the library, wanting also to read one letter from our very good friend, chairman of our advisory board, and my longtime friend, Ron Stafford. Just the one letter I'll read. Dear Sister Teresa, allow me to join your many friends and colleagues in wishing you the very best on the occasion of your departure temporarily from this area. We measure success in many ways, but perhaps the most accurate measure of success can be found in the numbers of people whose lives we have in some way enhanced. By this measure, you are a very great success indeed. Your compassion, your care, and your tireless dedication have brought comfort, solace, and relief to countless numbers. I wish you continued happiness and good health in the future, and come back soon. Sincerely, Ron Stafford. Ron has always been both a friend, a supporter, and a great admirer of Sister Teresa's. Now I'm going to ask Ann O'Donnell. Where are you, Ann? From the director of the library, who has a presentation she would like to make.
All right, as a representative for the Board of Trustees, we'd like to present you with a plaque that commemorates the 19 years that you spent as an avid board member. And I'd like to tell you that I appreciate what you've done and want you to come back and see what you've started. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And our very good friend, who has been a friend of Warren since they were kids practically, and a friend of mine, and a man whom I admire greatly for his commitment to public service in every phase, Don Garrett.
I didn't have the pleasure of having Sister Martell as a teacher, even though I'm a graduate of Our Lady of Victory. Had a lot of other great sisters who taught me, but I've known Sister Martell for many years, and I've known Warren Tessier a little longer. So when he called me up about 3 weeks ago and informed me of this reception, and he said, "Do you think the county legislature could do something for Sister Martell?" And I said, "Well, I think that's probably one thing that the Democrats and Republicans would agree on." So hence this resolution, and I really usually don't read resolutions, but I think this one ought to be read because it says a lot about what Sister Martell has done in this community. So if you'll bear with me for a couple of minutes. This is moved by 5 legislators and seconded by 5, and it says, "Whereas Sister Teresa Martell has been an important and valuable contributor to the people of Clinton County for over 40 years. And whereas Sister Teresa Martell initiated and served as director of Our Lady of Victory Secretarial School in Plattsburgh, which produced many outstanding professionals who are employed in almost every business in our community." I met many of them here today. Whereas Sister Martell, as a former director of Our Lady of Victory Secretarial School, not only taught generations of county residents secretarial and business skills, but also inspired people to help them achieve great levels of success. And whereas Sister taught at Clinton Community College, where she was extremely respected by students, faculty, and administration who are dedicated to the teaching profession. Throughout her entire career, she served the greater Plattsburgh community in many capacities and provided outstanding services to her church at the same time. Sister Martell was honored by the city with a citation for 19 years of distinguished service as a volunteer on the Plattsburgh Library Board. Be it resolved that this Clinton County Legislature does hereby publicly recognize Sister Teresa Martell for outstanding service to the residents of Clinton County in the field of education, as well as her unselfish dedication to people of all walks of life in our county. Congratulations and many good wishes for the future. You're welcome.
say something.
Well, I think I find myself struggling to find adequate words to say goodbye to so many wonderful people who have touched my life during 41 years in Plattsburgh. I certainly do want to thank you for coming here, and this evening it's just overwhelming, and know that your presence here means a great deal to me. In a very special way, I'm most grateful to Mr. Hassett for, I might say, initiating this event, and and coming from New York City to be here this evening. I'm deeply touched by this kind gesture, and I certainly, by offering me an opportunity, of course, to say goodbye to all my friends. Over the years, I've experienced the support and also the friendship of so many great people here in Plattsburgh, and certainly my life has been enriched I would say greatly enriched by my time with you. I could not possibly would say send a postcard to everyone, but know that despite the distance that separates us, you will always remain in my thought and prayer. And by the way, should the spirit move you to visit Quebec City, it's a great, beautiful city, don't forget to call me. If you're looking for an interpreter, I'll be delighted to take you around. So again, thank you very much for coming here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Please enjoy Sister's presence the rest of the evening, and I'm going to ask her to send one postcard a month to the community here, and people can come in and look at it if you'd like. All right, Sister? All right. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks.
That was a good wife. Great. Don Garrett, glad to have you here today. Isn't it great to be able to come back, as I've said before, and pay tribute to a woman who's given so much to our community in so many ways.
No question about that. A lot of people know Sister Martell, and many of her former students are here tonight to honor her, and rightfully so. She's done a wonderful job in this community, provided many young people with the opportunity to become business people, and really deserves a lot of credit. She's also done a lot of things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, a lot of service to the community. And I was amazed when I recently learned that every morning she walks from Our Lady of Victory Convent to St. Peter's Church, which is 1 mile exactly, and goes to Mass. And I would often see her walking out of church and heading up North Catherine Street, and I thought she lived on Court Street. And she just told me recently, no, I live in Our Lady of Victory. And she does that 1 mile walk, if the weather's good, every morning. And then when she was teaching at Clinton Community College, she said she had 15 minutes by the time she got back to the convent to catch the CART bus to get to her teaching assignment at Clinton. Amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Unbelievable.
That's why she's got such a spring in her step.
And I can tell you that many people at Clinton have told me what a wonderful teacher she was, and a wonderful addition she was to the faculty there at Clinton Community College. And I give President Fennell and the staff credit for hiring her several years ago when the business school closed and she was looking for a position, because she's made a tremendous contribution there. And I believe they honored her with a Distinguished Service Award at commencement this past spring, which was very rightfully deserved.
She's truly amazing, and I can remember all those radio commercials I did for Our Lady of Victory Secretarial School, but ever since Lefty Tessier told me about this occasion, I've been looking around to see how many people and how many offices are products of Our Lady of Victory Secretarial School, and you can't find one that isn't.
I can believe that, and in fact, I saw a young lady here who does a tremendous job with a travel agency, and I said, I suppose your connection here is with Sister Martell and the Secretarial School. Absolutely. Should I graduated from it? But you know, Gordy, the Sisters of Charity of St. Louis up here on Fox Hill, which is where I was born and what we used to call it, They have done a tremendous job. In fact, you won't believe it, but here today is my kindergarten teacher.
Come on.
Who taught me 59 years ago. Kindergarten. And then I had her in first grade. And she's still going strong and got a little problem with the hearing, but other than that, she's remarkable. And my 8th grade teacher and my advisor from senior high school when we had the senior class, we started the OLVA Alumni Association. These women are so remarkable. What dedication that they made, and of course Sister Martell being part of the order. They're just wonderful people who have made so many contributions to not only the entire Clinton County community, but especially the south end of the city.
Yeah.
We just had our alumni reunion, OLVA did last Saturday night. We had about 130 people back from all over the country. People have done very, very well in all walks of life. And they never forgot the contributions of the Sisters of Charity St. Louis, who were running Our Lady of Victory High School on a $50,000 a year bingo revenue.
Think about that, folks. In this day and age of high finance.
$50,000 a year in bingo revenue. And then when they started to lose the nuns, they decided that they just couldn't afford it anymore because they started to have to hire late teachers, so they had to close the high school. But $50,000.
Calvin knows, because I mentioned it numerous times on this program, what a sad day it was when that announcement was made. And I was there covering it on the radio, and they said Our Lady of Victory is going to close. And a hush came over the room because people did not believe it until the last moment, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
I can believe it. I never had a wonderful education there. I went there from kindergarten through 12th grade. Lefty Tesser graduated from there. A lot of people. Joe Pelkey, former public works superintendent. I mean, a lot of people graduated from there and got a great education. And it was just a wonderful school. And we hated to see it close. But economics is the name of the game today, unfortunately. And you have less people going into religious life. And these women who taught for practically nothing, in fact, some of them don't just about have Social Security if they have that. It's just amazing what they contributed. And we're so pleased, alumni are, that they were able to renovate the convent and make it look so nice today, and the order had the money to do that. Hopefully they'll sell the new building, which will help them pay for some of the debt incurred with the convent, because they deserve the living quarters they have, because what a wonderful group of people. They used to climb 4 flights of stairs to get up to their dormitories. Now they have an elevator. I can't believe that building over there. And they ought to be honored someday as a group. What sacrifices they made, just unbelievable. I didn't mean to digress into this other area. But Sister Martell is an example of the Sisters of Charity St. Louis and what they're all about.
Such a powerful part of our community, and every now and again you have to congratulate the folks from Fox Hill.
Absolutely.
This end of town. It's had a big impact on this community. And Donald, while we've got you standing here, my personal thanks for all your many years at SUNY Plattsburgh. Many of our viewers in the 3-county region here in northern New York may not know that you recently divested yourself of that portion of your life after how many years?
Well, I was there 39 years, but I got to tell you, I'm working part-time there still.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I'm working 2 days a week, and I couldn't break away entirely. And so the president asked me to stay on and help with some projects. So I'm working, today's a work day, I'm working Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we're going to see how it goes for a few months, and then see if I stay.
Wean yourself off it.
Wean it off.
After all those years and all those hours.
Yeah, it's tough to get away completely. I welcome having something to do part-time, but it's still better than working full-time. So we'll see how it goes, But
I've often thought if anybody could write a book about interesting experiences, your experiences over those years at SUNY Plattsburgh, watching this campus grow from a little tiny rural community into a force to be reckoned with in the state university system.
When I went there as an undergraduate, I've been connected with SUNY Plattsburgh since 1953. Graduated from Our Lady of Victory. When I went there, it cost $49 a semester. No tuition. All it was is fees. And I got to tell you, I, like a lot of other people in the area whose names I don't want to mention, who had prominent roles in education, would not have gone to college had it not been for SUNY Plattsburgh. My parents couldn't afford to send me away. And so thank goodness we had the college here. And a lot of young people take advantage of it today who live there. We have about 23% of our students who live in Clinton County, and a lot of them take advantage of it. But $49 a semester, that's unbelievable. So I owe them a lot.
I went to college when there was no tuition Don.
Oh yeah, that's right, sure.
I'm almost as old as you are.
You're a young man compared to me.
We've had a lot of good years in the city of Plattsburgh, and while we pay tribute to Sister Teresa Martell, we have to pay tribute to this great community in which we live. That's the reason I do this program with Calvin. We have so much to offer, and we want to let the outside world know about it.
It's a wonderful sharing community, and it's a community that's open up its arms and gives to different causes. It's amazing the number of people who support the medical center, the colleges, the Red Cross, and you can go on and on and on. The churches, schools, just amazing. It's a very generous community. You and I have talked about that many times.
We've talked about it, and Sister Teresa Martell on some 13 different foundations and boards.
Can you imagine that?
There is a nucleus of people who serve behind the scenes that hold the whole ball of wax together. These people, prominent business people, and other folks off the street who just decided to make an extra commitment to give back a little bit. And it's amazing. We do have a sterling community.
Unbelievable. And they've been very generous to a lot of organizations. They've been very generous to SUNY Plattsburgh. This year, past year, ending June 30th, we will have set a record for private support of SUNY Plattsburgh. And a lot of it comes from the community. A lot of it comes from our alumni all over the nation. But we will have raised over $1.2 million. That's a new record. For 12 months.
Amazing. The mind.
Amazing. I remember
the foundation way back when.
I started out in '70 when George Angel said, "You think you might be able to raise $10,000 a year?" I said, "I don't think so. That's a lot of money, George." And we raised $11,049. And since then, with people like the Glenn Gilses and the Kurt Shipmans, who unfortunately aren't with us anymore, the Pat Murnanes now, the Cliff Colognes, I mean, we've just been able to raise Fred Maryhugh, who isn't with us anymore. We've been able to raise a lot of funds and with the help from a lot of people. And a lot of young people have gone to being able to stay in college because of what we've been able to do. And the same thing applies to people who donate to Clinton. They have, as you know, you've been involved with their foundation, and just a wonderful giving community. And we're very fortunate. I would never want to leave and move elsewhere. I might spend some time where it's a little warmer in the wintertime, but I would never want to leave Plattsburgh. It's just a wonderful place to be.
Well, there are three of us here who agree with that. We've talked about it often. I have, my wife and I. I can't imagine. First of all, I don't know what we do with all my stuff if I move, but I enjoy
this garage sale.
Oh boy, would it be the biggest one in history. Donald, thanks again for all your support for the North Country and for being here to say goodbye to Sister Teresa Martell.
Nice to see you in Calvin again.
You too, Don. See you later. Mike Schwartz is here. How are you, Michael?
Very well, thank you.
You came down from the bluff to say hello.
Absolutely. Could not be here. You know, with Sister leaving the area temporarily, we wanted to certainly make sure we had an opportunity to again let her know that we are very appreciative of all the wonderful things she did with our students and with our faculty, and she's welcome back anytime.
You know, I did not know until I came here today that she had taught up there for 6 years.
Yes, at least that long, part-time, and usually taught anywhere from 1 to 3 courses a semester. Yeah, it was great, and the students respected her, and she did a great job, as she had certainly with Our Lady of Victory.
We talked about coups today, getting Lefty Tessier to come back to the community and work at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home was a great coup, but getting Sister Martell up on the bluff, that was a pretty good coup too.
Well, she understood that for years, I wouldn't say we were necessarily competitors because our programs were a little bit different, but she ran a quality program. In fact, many of her students, after the work that they did at OLVA, came to Clinton, and she recommended it. Of course, as you know, she very much promotes education. And she is a demanding individual, rightfully so, but students respect her for what she asked of them because they know that's the way it's going to be on the job.
That's why they were so highly regarded on their jobs. That's why so many were hired. You know, she almost had a 100% rate of people being high placement.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
Her placement rate was probably second to none because of the expertise that her graduates had.
I've talked to many people since I knew this little party was going to happen outside the area, you know, all over the country who know about Our Lady of Victory Secretarial School.
And I can honestly say from my experiences, not only throughout the country, but she had many students coming from abroad, Costa Rica and many of the islands. And she's certainly, I can almost say, world-renowned. Because there were many students, and I, over the years, had an opportunity of meeting many of them. And she really was, I would say, a leader in the field of business education for many years and was very, very actively involved in not only state organizations but also in national organizations, and is very well respected for her knowledge in the field.
There'll be a tremendous gap in this community for all the organizations she belonged to, and for our secretarial school and at Clinton and everywhere. We will miss her. That's why we have this little bon voyage party.
Well, absolutely, and I expect that we'll see her again, and whether it be as we visit Quebec City or she comes down for a little vacation here.
How many times have I said one of the most beautiful spots on God's good earth is that bluff where Clinton Community College is located? I don't know about you, but just to stand back there and look out over that Lake Champlain is good for my soul. It's a great spot. We've talked about history on this program. We've talked about it from on board the Juniper as we go by and look up there and talk about the history of that great facility. But look how far it's come since you've been there. And when did your tenure up there start, Michael?
Well, I started with the college in 1969, but a few people know that I really got introduced to Plattsburgh and Clinton County back in the 40s. My dad was in the Navy, and after he returned from World War II, the Normandy invasion, probably in about 1947, 48, we used to come up and drive all the way from New York City on Route 9 in the old Ford,
too, yeah.
and we used to stay for a week, sometimes maybe two, at Lieberthal's, and we enjoyed it immensely. So that was really my introduction, I think probably at the age of 4 or 5, and little did I think then that, you know, almost, I shouldn't say almost, 50 years plus, I would be standing here enjoying that beautiful lake and the view, and being a part of the community. It's really, certainly a beautiful place, and it's done a great job, I think, in the community, and it has a tremendous amount of historical significance for the area and our country.
Yeah, but that community college is a gem among community colleges. But what it's doing now is right on the brink of an explosion that will be, the reverberations will be heard far and wide. It's great to see that happen.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, Gordy, and I certainly am pleased to have been a part of it, but I think probably the most rewarding thing is having had the experience of working with people like Sister from the community who find and make the time to teach a course for us. And that's not in any disrespect to our full-time faculty, but we have many people from the community, whether they be attorneys, whether they be CPAs or doctors, who come and teach a course. And it could be a workshop, it could be a credit course, and I think that's really all a great tribute to the fine people who live here in the North Country, and it makes a great community for us.
And that facility is growing to fill this new demand for people who have expertise in technical fields, and that's great too, isn't it?
We can literally say that any student who comes out of Clinton Community College in one of our technical fields is not only being sought after by local businesses, but they are also being sought after now by companies in Vermont, Massachusetts, and our graduates are doing extremely well financially, and they're also doing well with opportunities to continue their education. So we're very pleased because we think that's what it's all about, making the community economically strong and a great place to live. What more could you want? And they throw in the beauty of the lake and the mountains besides. So it's a great place to raise a family and live, and I think people like Sister have certainly contributed to making it that type of a community.
She sure has. And how's the new president working out? How are things going up there?
Things are moving right along. I can honestly say I have not had a great deal of time to be working with her directly, but we are working on several different projects, and I know she has been here now approximately 2 months, and of course she's spent a lot of time getting to know the area, the people, the businesses, and we're expecting great things of her, and she comes to us with a great deal of knowledge and experience that I think will definitely enhance the community, and we're looking forward to that.
Great. Michael Schwartz from Clinton Community College, thanks for being with us here for this little tribute to Sister Teresa Martell.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. Have a great day. Bye.
Monsignor Dwyer, how are you?
Well, not too bad.
Great to see you. We were just talking about old times and how we used to go to the Christmas parties for the North End senior citizens way back when.
Now we've become more senior than the citizens of those times.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it great to be able to come here on a day, beautiful sunshiny day in August, and
the nicest day, yes.
And pay tribute to Sister
Good
Teresa
sister.
Martell.
She has been a lector for us at the morning masses at St. Peter's, even though she walks down a mile every morning.
Isn't that
and back,
great?
Takes off her shoes and puts on the good ones as she gets ready to go down the altar. And enjoys reading for us every week anyway.
But she's had such a great impact on this community and done so many things, and that effervescent smile of hers.
That helps, yeah.
And she's helped a lot of people. You and I have talked. You're from Bombay?
No, North Bangor.
North Bangor. Okay,
I was in Bombay for 10 years, but
okay, I gotcha.
But North Bangor is hometown.
But you must say that Plattsburgh is almost your hometown now. You've been here how long?
Well, 35 years. Last weekend, Father McAvoy wanted me to fill in when he was going to a relative's wedding. And it was lined up to be in St. John's in Plattsburgh. But when he came a little closer, he says it's the same day, but it's in St. Joseph's in Malone.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Which is nice because my brother lives next door, and I grew up next door in North Bangor, so I enjoyed getting back to the old home area.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no better place in the great North Country.
Oh,
I love to drive down through there in Franklin County and St. Lawrence County, and I love the St. Lawrence River, but it's always nice to come back up here.
Yep, see the good.
Yep.
He's going to run out of film if we don't stop talking.
Monsignor Dwyer, thank you so much for your contribution to this great community, too.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
We were really going to sing
All right, we got it. We're really going to sing what, George?
Happy Birthday for Sister because she won't be here for her birthday. So I thought we should sing it for her.
Yeah, I don't know what you sing for a person's 59th birthday.
Well, we just sing it right over a couple of times.
George Snob, we walked in and I gave you credit. The minute I heard your music down around the corner, I knew it was you.
We were hoping you'd be there to sing a solo or something, and this is your debut. You never
I
know.
did sing along a little bit. This is the only guy I know that knows 4,679 songs.
I'm up to 80.
How are you? Have you ever figured out how many times you played the piano in public?
No, I really haven't.
How did
But
that
it's a
start with
joy.
you? Did you?
I was only knee high. I started by ear and then finally took formal lessons. And then when I went to college, I took some more and carried on.
You came here for a lot of reasons. First of all, you wanted to say goodbye to Sister, but you've been at the college up there for a long time.
It'll be 25 come September 1st.
On. George,
Yeah.
you're making me feel...
And I'm only 26, so you know something's wrong with
You're
you.
just a tiny baby up on the bluff. She is a nice lady, isn't
She is wonderful. The world's best.
She's the world's best, and I'm so glad that so many people came here to say goodbye to her.
She deserves every honor we can give her, really.
So where's your next gig, George?
Who knows? Maybe your birthday.
Too late.
Or your going away party.
Too late. I had my last one a long time ago.
That's okay. Have a couple more. Listen, that's what life's all about.
Hey, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, George. See you later. No?
Is that right here?
Yeah, we're on. We're very informal. Mary Brown, how are you?
I'm just fine, thank you. How are you?
I haven't seen you in a while since we took our little tour of the Clinton Essex Franklin Library System.
That's right. We've missed you.
Well, we had a little feedback about the program. People enjoyed
Yes, they did.
finding out about it from the inside.
Yes.
People said, is that what the inside of the bookmobile looks like? Maybe we better go on, get some books out of that thing.
Yep, and some of them have. Besides, you made movie stars out of all of us, and we really miss that, you know.
Oh,
if you come
boy.
back, we could
Ain't
do
it
it
fun
again.
with that charming smile? What have you been doing since we saw you last?
I've been working hard.
Any major projects going on?
Usual stuff, working on automation and budgets. And
Oh, no. Something you would have just as soon hadn't brought up.
That's right. And I'm rowing around in my Adirondack guide boat. And
Really?
like that.
I didn't know you had one.
Yes, I do.
How did you get involved
Every
with that?
good Adirondack person has an Adirondack guide
Oh.
boat. I bet you have 2 or 3.
No, I don't, but I wish I did. Every time we go to the Blue Mountain Lake Museum, the
Oh, there you
Adirondack
go.
Museum,
Yeah.
and look at all the guide boats up there.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were into that.
Yes, yeah.
How did that start with you, though?
Well, I don't know. My mother taught me to row when I was a little kid.
Kidding.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
When I was too little to row with 2 oars, I rowed with 1 oar and she'd row with the other oar and keep us out of trouble.
So what's your favorite little lake?
My favorite lake. I don't
travel
know.
around a lot,
I like Middle Saranac. I like the
So do I.
Eckford Chain. I like, what's the lake over by Loon Lake where the campground is outside Onchiota? That little lake. Osgood Pond, that's a great
really?
place. Yeah.
Oh, isn't
Lake
that
Champlain is good.
Isn't this a fantastic area we
Oh,
live
it
in?
is. Yeah, I row out to
People
Valcour
think
all the time.
we're laying it on too thick sometimes, but it is a wonderful place.
I think so.
Some of us don't take time to take those little walks in the woods and those little rows on the lake.
Yeah, they go play golf. I really don't understand that. It's
Never
an
could.
ununderstandable activity.
No, never could. Just like to get out in nature and listen to the birds sing.
No, I climbed my first of the 46 peaks.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Only 45 to go?
45 to go. It's going to be a long time, too, let me tell you.
And I know people have done it, how many, a dozen times in their lifetimes?
I
That's
know.
amazing.
I'm climbing the Adirondack low peaks right now.
Yeah. The little hummocks and hills,
That's right. St. Regis, Lyon, D-Bar.
They're great. Oh, it's a wonderful place. We were talking about Sister Teresa Martell earlier.
Yes.
After all, that's
Oh,
why
yes.
we all got together here today. And about her walking down to St. Peter's every single day of her
Yep,
life.
she walks by my house. I see her often. We wave, And, I know her. I only know her because she was on the Plattsburgh Library Board, and I was the interim director for a few months, and so I worked with her during that period. And prior to that, I hadn't known her, and I hadn't realized the kind of person that she is. And she's just wonderful. She was a real help and support to me. She got judgment, insight, and a sense of humor.
Well, that's about says it all. We're going to put a new battery in, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, as you look around this wonderful room at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home on South Catherine Street in Plattsburgh, I want you to remember one thing. Remember that most of the things you saw today did not involve Gordy Little eating, because it was after the heavy interviews that Calvin and I got into the food, and I have to tell you, it was pretty darn good. I loved those meatballs. The most important thing I'd like to have you remember is this wonderful little lady to my left, Sister Teresa Martell. This was a bon voyage party for Sister Martell. It was conceived by the folks here at Evergreen Valley Nursing Home. We thank Lefty, we thank Bill from Long Island, the owner, and all the folks who contributed in making this a delicious occasion. We got to interview some of them. There were a lot of people just a little bit too shy to go on camera today, but I'm sure they would join me in wishing Sister Teresa Martell the very best in all her future endeavors. A lady who has meant a great deal to this community, who is now going to take a much-needed rest, but it didn't sound to me like she was going to rest very much, and I have a feeling that she'll be doing things with and for people all around the world until she breathes her last breath, and we hope that won't be for another 40 or 50 years. Thank you so much for joining us in this program today. Thanks to all the people who were here, and thanks to all of you for viewing this program to get another little slice of life in the North Country, and specifically here in Plattsburgh, New York. And who knows where we're going to be next time for our little corner.